What's up, beautiful people? We are doing I think, very timely episode today. We are roughly 1 month out, we are roughly 1 week out from Thanksgiving. And then obviously after Thanksgiving comes Christmas and then New Year's and all that other sappy horseshit. The biggest topic that I'd like to cover today is basically how to create and hold the boundaries that you have for not only yourself but your family while traveling, maybe possibly back home for the holidays. And obviously, I haven't recorded this episode yet, but this episode will be filled with a ton of game as I have been traveling home for the holidays since the fall of 2012. I haven't lived in my hometown and or my home state since 2012. And I'm not a math guy, but I think that's roughly 13 years and 13 rounds of traveling back home from the holidays. Obviously, I'm a much different person than I was in 2012 compared to 2025. My life looks completely different, as I'm sure yours does as well. So let's set the scene here. You're going to go home for the holidays. With that, you're going to see a ton of people that you haven't seen in months and maybe even years, such as such as your family, such as friends, such as associates, maybe former coworkers if you're out for a night on the town or whatever that may look like for you. Long or the short, you're going to see a ton of people that you haven't seen in a very long time. With that comes tension. You need to acknowledge the fact that you've grown. The caveat to that is that the people that haven't seen you in all these months and years are still going to see the old version of you. And you need to come to terms with that basically immediately, like right now. You will be going home shortly. You will be seeing family and friends that you have not seen in a very long time. They still have the old version of whoever you are in their mind. And then as soon as you open up your mouth, they're going to quickly find out that, oh, wow, you've changed, John. And I'll go into more in depth as to kind of how to handle that here shortly. During this episode, I'd like to cover, obviously, boundaries. There's going to be tons of identity shifts throughout this, temptations, and how to stay aligned with the new standards that you've set for yourself if you're on any type of self-improvement journey. And I'll explain to you how to basically work through that with these friends and families and how to set these boundaries. I've kind of described the holidays as being almost like a pressure cooker for your self-development, your personal growth. The brain naturally defaults to old patterns when you return to old places. And I know that might sound voodoo or yoo-hoo or whatever, but think about this for a second. Think about driving down your home street. You're going to feel things that you used to feel back when you used to do that on a regular basis. You're going to act a certain way. And if you don't, God bless you, but I know that I do. And if it wasn't for my wife kind of calling me out on that stuff, I'd probably never recognize it. So I think it's an important topic to discuss and something to be aware of as you're going to be home for the holidays. As you guys get home and you start talking to people that you haven't seen in a long time, like I told you, it's going to be very obvious to that said person that you have changed. And they're going to tell you that. They will, and I know that because this has happened to me. Wow, man, you've changed. And you need to take that as a compliment. It's not meant to be a compliment, but that's the only way that, in my opinion, you should receive those words is as a compliment. A lot of it, when people tell you that, it's to highlight their lack of change because they haven't changed. They haven't left. They haven't done anything. They're still living the same old life, doing the same old bullshit that y'all used to do 10, 15 years ago. So when they see you, they will make that very clear to tell you that you've changed. And you need to say, thank you. You're right. I have changed. I've done a lot of work. And you can leave it at that. You don't need to elaborate on anything. You don't owe anybody over the holidays, whether it be close family, in quotations, or old friends. You don't owe them any type of explanation as to why you're choosing to live the life that you are choosing to live now. These people, y'all have to understand this. They have expected you to stay this same version that used to serve them. You don't serve these people anymore, man. I was just home for a last minute funeral and I saw family members that I have not seen since like before puberty. And I was at this funeral home, no bullshit, like ducked off in the corner holding my son, trying to avoid having these conversations with people because these quote unquote family members don't give a fuck about you. They don't. They're going to ask you nothing but personal questions that where I'm sitting, they have no business knowing the answers to. So when these conversations do come up and you are getting trapped at the Thanksgiving table or while opening presents and the aunt that you haven't seen in 8 years is asking you personal questions about your marriage and your job and your children, you need to give her very vague answers. It's not lying. It's just keeping your energy to yourself. These people don't need to know anything about your life. And y'all might think this is very standoffish or very close-minded, but fuck these people. Aunt Sally doesn't give two shits about you. She's just nosy and wants to steal some of your energy. When in reality, she's probably talking shit about you and your old lady to her husband. And you're like, wow, this is very specific. This must be happening in your life. It's not. I just know how these things go because I've been doing this for 13 fucking years and I can see people's intentions very, very clearly. These people do not care about y'all. Be polite, be respectful, but don't over explain. Please do not do that because you're just giving people that you probably won't see in another 8 years your time and energy. And what they choose to do with that can have a negative effect on like where you guys and your family goes afterwards. Energy is a crazy thing. Y'all think it's maybe voodoo, whatever, but it's true. So in order to prepare yourself for going home and for maybe having some of these difficult conversations that you're maybe not super juiced up to have, you need to set these boundaries before you even go home. And again, you're a week out from Thanksgiving at this point. You need to set these boundaries now. You need to speak with your wife or your girlfriend or your children or speak with yourself on how you're going to handle these conversations. You need to come to a conclusion on what your non-negotiables are while you are traveling and away from your everyday routine. For example, how are you going to go get your workouts in? How much sleep are you going to get? What kind of food are you going to be eating? Are you going to drink alcohol? Are you going to have any time for yourself while you're home for the holidays? And these need to be detail-oriented, man. For example, with training, you need to be looking up gyms in your hometown right now. You need to go to the 24-hour fitness. You need to call and you need to get a membership. That way you can show up the next morning that you get home and go hit that gym. Don't handle that shit when you get there. Handle it now. For me, I always try to work out with AT at my high school. So I'll text him tomorrow or cold call him here in the next few days. I'll give him the dates that I'm going to be home, and I'll ask him, what time are y'all usually training over the holidays? He might tell me 7 a.m. He might tell me noon. If he tells me noon, I'm going to be like, yo, is there any way I can get the key to go in the morning? That way I can kind of start my day off the right way. And no bullshit, I have been doing this since literally months after I graduated. When I went to college, the first time I ever came home, I hit up AT and asked him if I could get the keys to the high school gym. That's how I usually do it. Now, if you don't have an option like that, go find a local gym and go get your membership, spend however much money you need to spend. Or, pro tip, I would tell them that you're either A, thinking about moving to the area and that you're just looking to try out local gyms, or B, tell them that you're home for the holidays and ask them if they have any week-long membership discounts. Option A or option B will work for you. You don't need to sign up for an extended period of time. I would probably lean more towards option A and tell them that you're checking out local gyms in the areas and you're trying to come to a conclusion. They're going to want you as a customer. Therefore, they're going to, one, either give you a full week free that you can utilize the gym, or they're going to knock off a significant amount of money so you don't have to pay a bunch. And again, like I told you, I've been around the block. I've been doing this a while, and that's how I always work in terms of finding new gyms. How much sleep are you going to get, man? Are you going to try to somewhat stay on your regular sleep schedule? When I go home, I change time zones. There's a 2-hour difference. So that does take an adjustment. If you're on the same time zone when you go back home, beautiful. You don't have to deal with that. What kind of food are you going to eat? Are you going to go to the grocery store and buy food that you can make throughout the week? My wife and I do. That sounds pretty crazy, but we don't eat what the family eats, unless it's Thanksgiving. Like, we're going to eat Thanksgiving dinner for sure. But, hey, let's go out to eat. Hey, let's go do this. Hey, we're cooking this. All right, y'all enjoy that. We're going to make what we bought, and that's a way that we can stay on top of our goals. Is that extreme? I don't know. Maybe you think so. We don't. Because we're not a lot of fun if we eat a bunch of bullshit and then our stomachs are fucked up and we can't really go do anything. So we've always done that. We'll go hit whatever grocery store is in town. We'll go get our organic food and we'll make our food. And yeah, we'll go out to eat and every now and then as long as it's something good, but we're not going to go eat pizza on a Wednesday night. Like, we just don't do that. And that's just how we choose to live our lives, and that's how we stay on top of shit. Alcohol, this is going to be a big problem for me, man. Not really, but there's not going to be any temptation, but there will be conversation. Hey man, let's go meet up and grab some beers. I don't drink anymore. Last year at this time, we were fixing to go home from the holidays. The last time I ever drank was on this Thanksgiving trip, November 29th. That was the last drink I've had, and I don't plan on breaking that. I don't care if I'm seeing old friends or if my dad wants to go do something. I'm good. I can go do all that, and I can go have all the fun that I need to have without drinking. Like, there's no temptation, man. I've made it a year. I'm going to see how long I can go. Will I ever drink again? I don't know. It just serves zero purpose with me, man. I got too many people dependent on me. I can't afford to be hungover. I have a 6-month-old, so there's no point in it for me. I can go out and have just as much fun if I want to go out and watch the game with some friends or go see some other couples that we know back home. I'm good. I don't need to do that. But I'm already prepared for those conversations. And I know exactly what's going to fucking happen if any of my people try to peer pressure me. We're gone. We're leaving. I'm not drinking, dude. If that's going to ruin your night, we'll go home. It's like, that's what it is. That's not being rude. That's not being disrespectful. That's you just standing on top of your own business. People can take that. They can leave that. If they choose not to agree with you, they're not your real friends or your real family. They should be able to respect what you got going on. And for me, if people aren't going to respect that, I'm the fuck out of there and I'm going home. That's how I live, so. Alone time is very important. If you can get away from your family and friends, even for 30 minutes, you need to do that. Go take a walk with your wife and reconnect. Go read a book in the other room for 30 minutes and get grounded again. Get up a little bit earlier than everybody else and go hit your workout and get that self-work in. I can't recommend that enough. My house specifically is very loud. My dad speaks very loudly. My stepmother speaks very loudly. There's always a bunch of dogs there. It fucks my nervous system up. Therefore, I get out of that house as much as possible when we're home. It's loud and it fucks with my mind. I need a little bit of peace and quiet. I don't live in chaos. Not saying that they do. But I'm not yelling and screaming and joking and laughing and shouting and doing all this other bullshit, having the TV volume cranked up to level 60 when it only goes up to 65. That we just don't do that. So I try to reset as much as possible. And again, man, like you need to prepare yourself for these conversations when people push back to you. Hey, I'm not drinking, I'm good. Oh man, come on, man, just have a beer with me, bro. Nah, dude, I'm good. You drink your beer. I'm going to drink what I'm drinking, but I'm good. I don't drink anymore. It's that easy. You do not owe anybody an explanation, but there will be pushback. Boundaries aren't walls, it's just providing clarity to people. Because you have boundaries, that doesn't mean you're putting a wall up. Again, you're just clarifying things. Be very clear with your new set of standards. You guys are going to have to navigate a lot of temptation and old habits when you go home. Alcohol and partying, food and the collapse of your routine, drama and things that might trigger you emotionally. Holidays aren't an excuse to like alter your standards. Now, that being said, man, I'm not like completely by the book. If you want to go out and have a night, go out and have a night. Like, if you haven't seen some good friends in a long time, go out and enjoy yourself. I'm not saying just be like Kermit the Frog. Like, you don't have to just be cooped up. If you want to go out and blow off some steam, I highly encourage that, especially if you work hard on your day-to-day, in your day-to-day life, and these are true friends and you're not just doing this to go numb out some other bullshit. If you genuinely want to be out with these people and spend time and tell stories and laugh and hug and have a couple beers and eat that pizza and watch that game, please do that. I'm not telling y'all not to do that. I'm telling y'all to not do that if you are getting forced into that situation. If you want to be out at that bar or you want to be out at that dinner and you want to be surrounded by these people and you want to partake in those things, by all means, do it. But if any ounce of you does not want to be there, does not want to eat that, does not want to drink that, don't do that. Please don't do that, because you're going to fucking regret it and you're going to hate yourself for basically stooping to somebody's level because of peer pressure. Do not do that. You will regret it, because I've been there and I've regretted it. If I drink over the holidays, I am going to be so extremely upset with myself because I've worked hard at this. And I can 1000% guarantee you that I won't. I won't. No fucking chance. But I know that going in, I've already had these conversations in my mind with these other folks. Oh, man, come on, bro. Fuck, man, you've changed, dog. Have a beer. We got fucked up last year. Yeah, that was last year, dog. I got shit going on. I got too many people depending on me. Enjoy yourself, dude. I'm just going to drink on this diet Dr. Pepper and throw in Rogues. We're cool. I got shit to do in the morning. I'm training in the morning at 6 a.m. And if that doesn't sit well, fuck them. Go home. Leave. They're not your friends. And with all that being said, man, you can still spend time with these people that are doing things that you just don't do anymore. Like if you're out and people are drinking and telling stupid stories, but you genuinely want to be surrounded by these people, that's how they're living their life. You don't have to criticize them. Hopefully they won't criticize you. Just don't adapt their habits. You have your own set of habits now and your own goals now, and clearly they do too. Obviously, they don't align with what you have going on, but that's okay. They're going their way. You're going your way. Just because the way that they're going isn't the way that you're going doesn't mean that they're going the wrong way. They're just not traveling down the same road as you. And that's okay. As long as they respect that about you in the way that you're going. If there's any sort of disconnect there, then I would abort the mission as soon as possible. And that might be awkward. It might be a little bit tension and drama filled, but it'll be worth it if you can nip it in the butt right there. If people aren't aligning with where you're at and you're getting a lot of peer pressure throughout these holiday seasons, you need to get out. And I've said that like 5 times right now, but somebody listening to this episode is going to be put in this position to go ham on a pizza that they don't want to go on because they're trying to lose 100 pounds, or to drink with some old high school buddies when maybe you haven't had a drink in 4 or 5 months and you have a great streak going. You're going to be put in this position. So you need to have all these different outcomes in your mind right now. You need to manifest these conversations and figure out how you're going to respond. You do not owe anybody a fucking explanation. Please, if you take anything from this episode about traveling home from the holidays, you do not owe anybody an explanation as to why you are choosing to live your life the way that you are choosing to live it now. You are not that old version of yourself. You are this version. And if people don't align with that, they are not your people. I promise you. Don't forget who you're becoming, man. You worked all year. All year. You haven't been home all year. You ain't been home since last Thanksgiving. You've maybe lost 50, 60 pounds. Maybe you got a great workout routine in. Maybe you've been tracking your food. Maybe you haven't been talking shit about other people and causing drama. You've just been focused on you and your family and your goals and your career. Don't forget that, man. Don't fall into these old traps. This has been going on for 13 years in my life. I'm very experienced when it comes to traveling home for the holidays. Over the past few years, I haven't even wanted to go home for the holidays. Fuck it. The only reason we go back is because my wife wants to go back. I don't need to go back for the holidays. Christmas ain't what Christmas used to be when I was fucking 5 years old. I do not care about that anymore. If I want to go see my people, I'll make it a point to go see my people. Or they can come see me if I tell them they can. So don't lose track of where it is that you have gone over the past year, because these freaking temptations are coming for you. They are. If you guys are wondering, how are you going to handle some of these conversations? I need you to jot these down in your phone or take mental note of these, because I'm going to give you some very calm but firm, easy responses if you're getting any type of pushback when somebody offers you to go out to drink, or if you're already out and they're like, dude, come on, man, just do a shot with us, bro, like old times. Jot this down. No thanks. I'm good. It's that easy. No thanks. I'm good. If that one doesn't suit your fancy, try, I don't do that anymore. It's firm. It's precise. It's not rude. I don't do that anymore. It's simple. Again, no explanation needed. What I'll tell you is that do not sacrifice a year of growth for one weekend of fitting in with old friends or old family members that serve zero purpose in your ongoing life. I have done that and it fucking sucks. Please do not do that to yourself, man. And if you don't even want to have these conversations to begin with, avoid these things. Avoid these environments that are going to pull you backwards. You don't have to explain to somebody at the bar that you don't do the bar scene and you don't drink anymore if you're not out at the bar. Now, you might have to do it at the Thanksgiving table when they're passing the fucking wine around, but that's a little bit less pressure than being out in a huge party scene such as a bar or a restaurant or at a game or whatever that might be. Avoid these situations, dude. Instead, tell your wife you're going to stay back. Ask her if she'd like to stay back with you. Maybe hang out with your kid together. Just because you're going home for the holidays does not mean that you have to spend every waking fucking moment with your parents or your brothers, your sisters, or old friends. If you're listening to this, I'm assuming you're pretty grown. Like most of y'all that listen to this probably aren't fucking in high school. Maybe you are. I don't know. If you are, then do what your parents say. But if you're in college or if you're an early adult in your late 20s or in your early 30s, such as myself, you are your own fucking individual. Chances are you probably have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Chances are you might be married. Chances are you might have a few kids. You don't need to do anything that these people ask you to do and or tell you to do. I'll never forget, I came home from college one year for like a winter break, and I'm in college, so let's keep this in mind. I'm doing my thing, and I was, a bunch of my friends were home from college as well, and we were going to go out to some bar and basically just fuck off. I'm leaving the house. My dad's in the garage, and he goes, "What time are you coming home?" I stopped, and I looked at him, and I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "What time are you going to be back?" I said, "Does it matter?" Probably not the correct answer, but you couldn't tell me what to fucking do. I'm on my own now. I said, "Whenever I get home, that's when I'll be back." Now, I probably should have been a little bit more polite about it because I was staying under his roof over break, but that's coming from a freaking 21-year-old kid. If I can do it at 21 and you're in your 30s listening to this, you do not have to fucking do anything that your parents say anymore. And I hope you know that. Or your brother or your sister or old friends or old coworkers that you might bump into. You are your own individual and you don't have to do fuck all. If you don't want to go do something, don't do it. And then please do not explain to them as to why you can't do this. "Hey, dude, come out and have beers with us." "No, I'm good." "Why, man? Like, what the fuck, man? You've changed." "Thanks, man. I appreciate that." If they're going to give you backlash, they ain't your people. Long of the short, to wrap this whole thing up, a lot of you guys are going to be battling this over the next month and a half. We got Thanksgiving. After Thanksgiving, got about a month. Then you got Christmas. After Christmas, you got New Year's. Let the games begin. There is so much temptation and so many opportunities over the next 50 days to basically fuck off and get off the course that you've been on since January. And again, I'm not telling y'all not to go enjoy yourself, as long as it's in moderation. It has to be in moderation. Please eat your Thanksgiving dinner. Whatever your family cooks, I need you to go for it. If they got pie afterwards, I need you to go for the pie. But not if you went out drinking and fucking ate bullshit the day before. Y'all know the day before Thanksgiving is the biggest bar scene of the year. I haven't done that since my freshman year in college, maybe sophomore year in college, coming home. It's not only a complete fucking waste of time, but it's also extremely dangerous if you're in there. There's so many DUIs and so many accidents that night before Thanksgiving. There will be countless opportunities to fuck off. And I'm just trying to hammer this home for y'all because I have been there and I have caved and done things that people have wanted me to do and agreed to things that I maybe had not hoped to agree on just to please somebody else, that in all honesty serves zero fucking purpose in my life today. Do not do that. It is not worth it. It is not worth your time. It is not worth your energy. If you're going home solo, it's going to be way more difficult. If you're going home with your wife and you're going home with your kid, no, I'm going to help Morgan out with the kid. No, I'm going to help Shelly out with the kid. Whatever your fucking old lady's name is. Use them as an excuse. What, is somebody going to give you slack for helping your wife out with your baby? No. And if they do, that is a huge red flag, and they are definitely not your people. I promise you that. Use your family as an excuse if you don't want to elaborate on, if you don't want to have that, no thanks, I'm good, or I don't do that anymore type of conversation. Maybe you could even, hey, I would, but Morgan and I are getting up super early in the morning to go work out. Sorry, man. Maybe we'll do it next time. There's a million different ways. You're not lying to anybody. You're just protecting your time and energy. I hope this helps, ladies and gents. I've been doing this I have not lived in Michigan for a long, long time. We'll be back in a month. Thankfully, we don't have to do the Thanksgiving thing. We're doing our own Thanksgiving. But yes, we will have to deal with Christmas and New Year's. And I love those confrontational conversations. If you know anything about me, I'm not shy about voicing how I feel about things and standing up for what I believe in. I think that's probably why a lot of y'all follow me and maybe listen to the podcast on a regular basis. You ain't gotta like it. You ain't gotta watch it. You ain't gotta listen to it. You don't have to follow it. But I will always tell you guys what I think and what I believe. And if that aligns with you, appreciate you being here. If it doesn't, just keep it moving. Good luck to everybody during the holidays. Hopefully you get along with your in-laws. Hopefully you have a healthy family dynamic and none of this is even remotely an issue for you potentially this holiday season. And if it is, hopefully you learned a few things. You can implement maybe a few tips that I gave you here. And if you do, shoot me a message and I want to hear about it. That'd be cool. Neither here nor there. That's all she wrote. We'll have another episode for you next week. We'll do a guest and keep this thing moving. Appreciate y'all. See ya.